How's it going, you guys? So recently I just posted this video of my girlfriend and I at Galaxy's Edge, and here I'll show you guys real quick how it works. But basically it's me just force pushing her into this light fixture and she just keeps getting back up and it goes over and over and over again. But I got a comment from Nash Cut Movies on Instagram, and he was asking if I could come up with a tutorial for how this was made. So real quick, I just want to say that this effect was inspired by Peter Quinn on TikTok and on Instagram. He's the one that developed this idea of using, you know, almost like a sticker cutout of a person and then making them kind of fly across the screen. So if you want to check out his content, definitely do that, because he's got such a fun, you know, somewhat easy way of making this happen. But I kind of wanted to add a few more special effects and, you know, a little bit magical touches here and there to bring apart this, like this force effect, as you can see here. Real quick disclaimer though, this video wasn't made with the intention of being a tutorial. So if you look at the timeline at the bottom here, like it's all a mess. Like this is all just messy, and I'm I'm sorry you have to look at it like this. But you know, if you can be organized, it's gonna help a lot. You know, like naming a lot of the files that you're using and the clips in the videos. But so to start off with, this video, I believe there's only 3 shots that I really took. So I took the video of Dani starting off where she's kind of like falling on this light fixture here. So this is the start of the clip. So she falls to the ground, she comes running at the screen, and then, whoops, and then she runs right under my hand. And you can't really tell here. Let me see if I can turn off some of the layers real quick. We're gonna turn off Dani flying. We're gonna turn off the force push. Whoops, hold on a second, the force push. So it's a little bit cleaner. And then if we come down here again, yeah, so right about here, she runs out of frame. And then what I did was I cut the clip after where she runs off the screen, and to use it as a clean slate. A clean slate's just basically gonna give you this whole area here, you know, without anybody in it. So that's why that kind of like flickers real quick. But then what I did was I added this cutout. So this is the second thing that we took. We took a picture of her flying in the air. Woo! And then you just animate that. You animate that to kind of match up with the position of where she falls initially. You know, it's not perfect, but it did its job. And then the last thing that we took a video of was this hand. So it's my hand doing like a force push. And for this, I just rotoscoped the hand out. I did a little bit of time remapping, and then I kind of animated the position so that it could come in and out a little bit faster. So that's, I mean, pretty much the basis of the whole video. Now, there's things that I did to kind of make it a little bit cleaner. So, you know, we've got the force push effect itself here. Let me turn this back on. So I first started off with a new solid. I shaded it a little bit of blue. Pretty much just added this blue circle, this blue elliptical mask, you know, faded it in, faded it out, and then I had an adjustment layer here. I believe this is it. Yeah, and I just threw on some turbulent displacement. So that kind of makes it look, you know, jelly-like. It gives you that little bit of like something's happening to the environment around it, which I thought might look good for a bit of a force push. You know, I wouldn't really copy the settings here also because it's gonna vary, but basically what you wanna take note of is at the start of your force push, it helps to have the evolution set to a certain amount, and then as you further scrub through your force push, like where you want the end of it to be, change the evolution up a little bit, because you'll notice, see how it kind of warps a little bit? That's what creates that wibbly wobbly looking effect. So, from here, what I did was I just animated her flying up into the air, landing back, boom. And then it kind of, you notice how the positioning isn't quite the same. It doesn't look that great, but something that I did at the end here is I pre-comped everything, all the layers and all the sound effects and stuff into one pre-comp. And then I added on some camera shake. And this is from Motion Bro. This is version 3.2.1. It's a free plugin, but if you go and check out what they have, there's under Simple Transform, there's Shake. And then you can add, you know, whatever kind of camera shake you want to add. You can make it crazy, you can make it a little bit smoother. But I did the initial force push here and just went crazy with it. Just made crazy kind of camera shake. And then once she lands, I did a smaller kind of camera shake, boom, like the impact of her hitting. And then pretty much all I did was I did one rotation. So I did one looping, where I actually edited everything again, and then the second loop, it's just the clip starting from the beginning. Like, this is just the loop here. And the reason I did that is because when you upload this video to TikTok or to Instagram Reels or any kind of social media, there's like a millisecond or two delay between the refresh of the video, and it just doesn't look very good if you only do one loop. So I would suggest doing at least 2 to 3 loops. 2, I mean, honestly, is fine, but you'll notice that once the video replays on social media, it just doesn't look clean. And then the last thing I kind of want to show off, because this took quite a bit of time, but behind Dani in these scenes, there's actually people. So in the initial edit that I did, you know, there's the people there. Give me 1 second, let me see. Here's before the edit. So if I just play this through, the people are walking through, la 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 la, she gets up, she goes over. When the cut happens, the people just appear again because this is the same clip. Her landing is the same clip from right here. So what I did to help bypass that and get some of these people out, I actually took a still shot, or a screen capture, I guess, of this kid standing here. And then what I did was I freeze framed it, and I went down to the bottom clip here and motion tracked it. I can't really motion track on this computer right now while I'm recording because it's gonna crash. But if you guys are familiar with motion tracking, you're basically tracking the motion of an object, and I did these 2 lights right here, because you can see by the square, this is what I used to track these 2 lights. But you can track the motion of the video so that anything that you add to this video will stay in place. So I took this picture of, or I took this freeze frame of the kid, and I matched it up to where as soon as she lands, his hand starts moving a little bit, and it goes back to the transition of him being like a video clip. And you can kind of see right here where the clip restarts, because his hand, I tried to match it as best as possible. His hand starts to go back to the gate there on the left, but as soon as the clip resets, it just blip. Sometimes just adding, you know, a little bit of camera shake or a little bit of other effects will really help sell the shot in the end. But to wrap this up, what we did was, so I freeze framed that, I motion tracked this onto the clip, and then I parented the motion tracked, the freeze frame shot of the boy to the motion tracked footage so that it stays in place. You can kind of see it wiggling just barely, but the masking, I think, you know, really sells everything, and I've tried to match it with anything that was flat, so these cracks in the surface and stuff like that, and the light fixture, anything with straight lines that wouldn't show that it's, you know, moving around at all. But that is pretty much how all of this was done and edited, and yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty clean for the amount of time that we put into it. It was a lot of fun, and if you guys have any more questions, definitely let me know in the comments. I'd love to help answer.